Da, 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 da.
Oh, Humdinger, folk singer.
My name is David Shewry, and I'm not a filmmaker, but we're making a film today. And this is because I want to capture my granddad's memories on video for posterity. I always thought that it would be nice to watch a video or listen to a recording of my great grandparents from centuries past, and I never will because they didn't have the technology or the ideas back then. But we're doing it today so that 50 years or 100 years or 1,000 years from now, somebody might want to look back and find out who we were. And now they'll know. So this is Vic. What's your full name?
Robin Victor Glazier.
Robin Victor Glazier.
Yeah.
And tell us. We'll do it chronologically. So tell us about your grandparents. Who were they? What do you know about
My grandparents was Albert and Eliza. They were my mother's parents, but they was also a Glazier. They are related somewhere to my father's parents.
Okay.
They was Glaziers as well. But all I know about my mother's parents, I think they came from, mother worked in service in Westfield, but he worked here as a carter on a farm, and he was a sexton at the Pett church. And my other grandfather, I didn't know his wife. I didn't know him because they both dead before. I can't even think what I know. His name was Harry, father's, and we do know that he was a well digger.
Right.
With my other uncles, all down through Pett and Guestling, digging wells back in the 30s, I suppose it would have been.
So tell us about your parents.
My parents, mum and dad, Sarah and George, we lived at Fairlight most of their life. When we moved from Rosemary Lane, mother was just a housekeeper for different people. Father was a gardener after doing a lot of farming work. Worked at the Cove Hotel as a gardener. He was also in the LSA, which is the life-saving apparatus thing from the Coast Guards at Fairlight Station. They used to get lots of call-outs on the cliffs with people stuck on the cliffs and all that sort of thing. And they got called out one night, I think it was back in 1948, 49, when there was a fishing boat from Hastings that got wrecked on the reefs at Fairlight, but they could not save the people because the fog was so thick you couldn't see it, and you could hear these men shouting for help, but they couldn't get to them. Sadly, they all died. There's two other places they used to go on the cliff. People got stuck in the mud, and kids got over there and couldn't get back up. He's done all that most of his life.
As a volunteer?
Just a volunteer. That's all. Yeah, volunteer. They're all volunteers then. Yeah. Mum was a jolly little lady. Father was, pretty. They weren't very stern with us. I used to have a very bad temper when I was younger and put my fist through the window and things like that. But he would never, chastise me or anything. We used to get away with it. And I think Brother Bert used to clip us around the ear. I was a bit, was naughty because he was that much older than us. But yeah. Now,
where are we then?
We're heading for what was New Barn Farm. But it's been now renamed Low Winter or something, has it?
Low Winter Farm.
Low Winter Farm. Yeah, when I lived it was New Barn Farm. But there was no drive like this, it was just a rough old farm track, that went down here.
Well, we've not been out here together before.
Not this bit, we haven't, no, we haven't, no. But I can't remember ever, I can remember leaving here in 1942 to move to Fairlight. I was born here in 1937, wasn't I? So,
So you're born in, when's your birthday?
October
1937.
1937. Yeah, I was born in this house. We'll come across the house in a minute, won't we? When we get there. Taking a picture of the scenery, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can remember leaving here and we walk up over that field by the hedge, and up there to Pett Church, and the school, you can't quite see it. It's behind them houses down the other side of the road.
So the house that you were born in, is that still standing?
Yeah, that's here.
So we'll see that now.
It's a bit renovated to what it used to be.
I'm sure.
Another thatch-proof place.
But 80 years ago.
Yep.
Your mum was pregnant.
That's it. Yeah, it was me.
Yeah.
There's only me, Gordon, and Betty that was born here, The others were all born up in Pett Village somewhere.
And when was Betty born?
1935.
So she's a bit older than you.
Yeah, she would have been. Yeah.
And what do you remember about your time with her?
Not a lot. Only when we used to go up and meet up at her place when, because she was that much older. She was going to work in Hastings somewhere.
What did she do?
I don't know anything. I think more or less. I can't remember what she'd done. It was rented. It was 2 families lived here.
So there were 2 families in the house at the same time?
Yeah.
And who
We had
was the
one
other
end,
family?
we had one, and the other family was the other side.
16th century, I reckon, then?
Yeah, it got to be, isn't it? Yeah, it's quite... Yeah.
Older than you?
I wouldn't have thought it was that old, but you can imagine it being in 2 houses, can't you? So
yeah.
One either side, and plus the Pett and Fairlight boundary runs right
through the house
somewhere.
Right.
Not sure what angle it goes through, but
Now in Pett, now in...
Yeah.
Now in Fairlight.
Yeah.
And Polish thatch.
Polish, unbelievable, isn't it, really? Oh, God. This is good, I suppose. You wouldn't know then that they told you, would they? You know what I mean?
Same stuff, isn't it?
It is all the same, yeah, I suppose.
Hello.
Hello, we just spoke to your husband. And I was born here in 1937. And he wants to do a documentary of me before I pass away.
Not to put too fine a point on it.
He said you'd probably come out, but you've been watching something on the horses? That's it. Oh, my, your sister's there.
Has it changed much?
The house, well, I left here in 1942 when I was about 5 years old, but there was 2 families lived in here then, That's it, and I'm not sure which one's Pett must be that side and Fairlight the boundary. Have you? Oh, really? Yeah, I know the boundary went right through it. They did, yeah. But I used to have to go to school from here, up through the fields to Pett Church, to Pett School, but I was only 5 when we moved to Fairlight.
Where do you live now, Fairlight?
No, I live up at Shearbarn on Holly Park at the moment, But I've always lived this area. Yeah.
I will enjoy it.
Yeah, we've done what we want to do nearly anyhow, so, yeah.
It's a lovely day for it as well.
Yeah, none of this was here then when we was here, but...
No, we've been here 17 years.
No, yeah, and he was just saying there's 3 wells there, is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my grandfather was a well digger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you dig one too?
He might have done. I know he done a lot down through Friars Hill, through Pett in them days.
Oh, God, that's really interesting.
Yeah. I don't know what his father done when we got back as far as that, my great-grandfather. But,
God.
they was all born in Guestling area sort of thing.
Well, it's a lovely place to live.
Oh, beautiful down here, isn't it? Yeah. Thanks for that, then, now. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
So today we've been out to various locations around here. We're now at Pett level,
Yeah.
where we used to play as kids. And
Yeah.
And so we've been to different locations, and one of those was the house that you were born in.
Yeah, down there, yeah.
And then we've also been to the house that you grew up in. So you moved when you were how old?
5.
5 years old.
Yeah, I lived in Newbarn Farm until 9. Well, it might have been before I was 5, but between 4 and 5.
You were born at Newbourne Farm,
Newbarn Farm.
and then sometime early on you moved to
Fairlight.
Fairlight.
It was called Barn Cottage.
Barn Cottage.
Yeah. This is the house I was moved into in 1942 when I was 5 years old. It's a bit different than what it is now. It's been knocked down and rebuilt, but the shape of it is much the same. But it was an old stable, as was the Cove Hotel, which is behind there, was the cow shed, because it's an old farm. That's the farmhouse behind us there.
Okay.
And because all the upstairs rooms, the floors are all sloping, so our beds, we had to jack up on bits of wood to bring them up level, and in the front there was a nice tree that me and Gordon was always climbing up and down when we was young, but there was a wall there. The old kitchen had been knocked down. There was a flat roof kitchen through there, where we used to climb out the window up there onto this flat roof and play a bit, and we were terrible at it, we were,
So how many of you were there in the house?
there was myself, Gordon, Betty, Bert was in the army, and George. Well, my mother was just like a housekeeper, just cleaning for people. Father was a gardener in the Cove Hotel, but before that he was a farm labourer over at Pett. you know, at Dunlop's farm he used to work years ago. But we moved over here, and that's when he lost his job down there, so he took up a gardening job here. When Bert came back out of the army, he got married and had twins. We lived here. We all lived in this little house together. It was terrible, really. And I'll tell you something now, it was full of rats. It run around the house at night, you know, in the bedrooms. You could hear them scratching, and my father ended up, well, they get through the skirting board. He went round with tinleys and nailed them all to the thing to stop them chewing to come through. That was actually true.
You didn't think of getting a cat?
We had cats, but it didn't no good, did it? I think the rats were bigger than the cats. You know, but, yeah. And so we lived here I lived here until 1961 when I married your grandmother, you know.
Okay.
That's all, yeah.
And then when you moved from here, where did you move to after that?
When we first got married, we moved along to St Saviour's Road in St Leonard's. Okay. We didn't stay there only about a year till Mum was born. Yeah. And then we came back here for about 6 months, lived with my mother. And then
So you lived here with Nan?
Yeah, with your mum and all. And then we went down to Pett level back up to Peter James Lane, then we ended up in Allards. Okay. You know, sort of, yeah.
So you're there quite a while, and a lot of people in the house.
Yeah, I know. Then Brother John, when he got married, Bert had already got a council house by then. And Brother John got married, and he had his family here as well. I think Keith was born here, you know, and there was them in here. It was all in the house together, sort of thing. And during the war, when the bombers used to come sailing around here, there was a bomb hole in this field here where these houses are now. Right. Where a bomb dropped there one night, and then a German plane crashed in the field up the top there, and all that excitement. And my brother and mine, Gordon, we used to go out picking up all the shrapnel. We had boxes of shrapnel we used to keep as keepsakes, you know. Or up in the top field there was an army barracks. We used to go up there and sit with the soldiers when they was bang, 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 firing away. You know?
You sit and watch the soldiers as
we used to. Yeah, we used to go scrumping apples and take apples up to them, you know. But every time there was a plane coming in, we had to sort of run back in the wood out of the way. So, you know, it was quite a good bit of fun, really. I enjoyed it. You know, yeah.
And so these days we'd have a family Christmas. We all get together, have a big meal, Christmas crackers, all that. Yeah. What sort of Christmases did you have?
Oh, not much. We never had much money them days. Right. You know, we used to have a little sock with a few apples in and things, and a orange and a few nuts. But as for presents, things like that, we never had nothing really. You know. Sort of thing.
And you have a Christmas dinner?
Yeah, but I can't remember what it was because we never had, you know. We used to eat mostly rabbit, I think, during the war because you couldn't get meat. They used to go out on a Sunday morning, 3 or 4 of them, with ferrets to go ferreting down through the lanes and come back with several rabbits, which we'd eat during the week and that. Well, we used to go from here because the cliffs are not far away from here, and we used to run down over the cliffs and things like that and play on the beach most of the time. But now, where the cliffs are all falling away, you can't get down on the beach at all, you know. And then we used to get stuck in the mud and pull ourselves out, and Wellington's full of mud and goodness knows what. And set fire to a gorse bush to dry ourselves out before we come home. And as for messing about around when we was kids, I mean, imagine how far we had to walk from school when we just come down them 2 hills, you know. And sometimes we'd sit in the road when the tar got hot, it would bubble up, and you sit there pressing the bubbles and make pop, pop, and all that. Silly little things like that we used to get up to. We never had no bicycles in them days, not until later on. That's how I got a scar on my nose when I was going down here.
Oh yeah, tell us about the bicycle.
Yeah. We had a bicycle, I was only a tiny one. I was quite tall, but I was going swimming at Pett level, and then because I didn't want to carry the towel around my neck, and my sister-in-law tied it around the crossbar, and going down that hill there, it went into the front wheel and tipped me over the top, and I was ended up with this down here. Ended up in hospital here for a fortnight, and then again I had to go to East Grinstead for plastic surgery, but we can't see it so much now on my nose, but it all wore away, hasn't it?
What? You told me once about you and Gordon going on a bike into Hastings.
We did. We took a bike. We found this old bike with no. It just had wheels, no tires or nothing on it, no chain or anything. We pushed it from here at Hastings, and we rode it down Old London Road into the old town.
All the way down.
And some bloke, I think, must have given us about probably a shilling in them days for a bit of scrap, and we caught the bus back. You know, but we walked all the way from here with it. Then one day when there was a bomb landed up there, all the windows were blown out on the other side, and we had one of them, that hand and shelter with like a big metal thing inside. We used to scramble under there, you know.
All 10 of you?
Yeah, mostly, yeah. But used to use that as a table as well. Sit around with the chairs, as I say. Had it in the front room like a table. You know, put a cloth on the top and playing over in the fields. I mean, you had plenty of places you could run about here. You know, woods to play in, fields to play in. Now there's all houses.
And when you were playing, was that football or
No,
what
we were just climbing in the trees. There was a pond up in that wood there, and we had an old barrel, and we used to get on this whole barrel and just strip off and get on this whole barrel and go across the old pond in it. The pond would be full of weed and frogs and tadpoles and all things. And wonder we never died of something we would have caught, but we never did.
You had good immune systems.
We must have done. We must have done. Yeah. I can't remember. I know I used to never really eat on a Sunday lunch. I used to like just eat Marmite sandwiches and cheese and things like that, you know. But it wasn't until later on that I really got stuck into having a good vegetable dinner.
Right.
You know, because Father used to grow his own vegetables in the garden over there.
What sort of things did he grow?
Everything. Potatoes, cabbages, you know, onions, all that sort of thing. Anything. And I can make a nice stew with, you know. So, yeah. And I used to work. The first job I had here when I left school was delivering milk all around this area. I was a milkman. I got £1 a week. In 1953 that would have been, about £1 a week here.
And you had some sort of truck?
Oh, an old van, a rough old van. It was a D, I can remember the number nearly, DY88 something it was, but it had no doors on the back and just put the crates of milk in the back, and they was all in bottles. It had cardboard tops them days. And we used to start at 6 in the morning and probably work till 6 at night. You know, for £1 a week I used to get.
You're delivering milk at 6 o'clock in the evening?
Yeah, all down in here, because some of them places were like little holiday homes down there, and you walk up from here to there, that house would be off the road. You have to walk up there and they say, oh, could you have another pint? You walk all the way back, walk all the way back up with this pint of milk and all this, you know. Yeah, it was great. That was good old times. Yeah, probably.
What's your happiest memory from it?
Here?
Yeah.
I don't know, really. Going to school, I suppose, from here. I used to walk from here up to like them big hills to Fairlight and back again.
So this is your old school?
That is.
What do you remember about
Church of England Primary School, which I attended from 1942 to about 1948, you know.
Do you remember much about it?
I do quite a bit about it, you know. I mean, the toilets and all that was over the back, and they had a big playing field in there. And I always remember the winter of 1947, was it, when we had a very bad winter and everything was froze up. So we was sent home from school, which we had to go walk 2 miles home down the hills, which I'll show you later on. You know.
I remember you telling me about pushing that bus up the hill.
Yeah, we did. That was one day going to Hastings on that bus. You know, we pushed it up the hill because it wouldn't go up there. It was packed. Everybody was standing. You know, must have had about 50 people on the bus. Crazy.
And how many? Yeah, they pushed the thing up the hill. Yeah.
Pushed the bus up over the hill. Yeah, because it couldn't make it. You know. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
So how many other children were there in the school?
I don't know.
Do you remember how many?
About 20 or 30, I suppose. Not that many, because there wasn't a very big population here then.
No.
You know.
So when you had lessons, was that with kids just your own age, or you'd all be just chucked in together?
Yeah, you had two classrooms. This was when you first went was the junior classroom, and the other room was for when you got a bit older. You know, when we done our exams before we went to modern school.
Right.
Right.
I mean, nowadays you'd have 5-year-olds together and 6-year-olds together by year.
Yeah.
You didn't do that.
No.
Did you have any siblings in your class?
And I mean Gordon. Betty would have been. There was just a Betty, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. There was only 3 that went to school here. You know, all the others had left. So it was that much older.
And it's called Schoolhouse.
Still called Schoolhouse, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. That's where the school caretaker lived in that one.
Okay.
You know, and yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. Yeah, I did enjoy it really up there. Yeah, it was good. You know.
Happy memories.
Especially when they used to ring the bell, time to go home, sort of thing.
I see.
Were you good at school?
Not really. No, just got a bit of mischief on the way home.
Like what?
You know, well, going along the bottom road here one day, my brother and I saw a wasp nest. So we thought we'd have a handful of gravel, throw it into the wasp nest, and we ran. But they caught us up, and we were stung all around their neck, on their face, and everything. There's an old lady who used to live on the hill. She put what they call blue bags in them days, what they put in washing. We went home with all these blue marks on us, and the mother said, "What the hell's happened to you?" Like, you know, I was telling what we'd done. Yeah.
When you find out about your older brother dying,
Yeah.
how did you find out that he was dead?
A man.
Did your
Oh
parents
wow.
get a letter? Or?
Yeah. No, a telegram would come. I remember this man coming to the door and knocking. You know, said to my mother, because my dad was out working, "We have this bad news for you now." It's got a telegram, and that's when she sort of broke down and cried, and that was it, sort of thing. Yeah.
Did you have some sort of service for him? You won't
I don't
remember
know.
that,
I don't
no.
remember that. They might have done it out in France, mightn't they? But
Well, they would have done a military thing, but I wondered
So,
if the
no,
bloke-
nothing
he
here.
had
No,
something local.
no, not as I know of.
No, okay.
No.
How did it affect your family?
Well, I suppose during them days, you just got on with life, you know.
Where are we?
Fairlight Church near Hastings.
And what are we doing here?
We come to look at a plaque with my brother's name on, who was killed in the war, Second World War.
And this is
Yeah.
your brother.
George, yeah.
What do you remember about George?
Not a lot, because I was about 4 or 5 years old when he died. And I know that when he went in the army, he joined the Royal Sussex Regiment, but there wasn't enough action, so I think he joined the Royal Scots Fusiliers. And then, sadly, he was killed in Normandy in 1944, September.
And do you know how old he was then? And how old was
I
he
was
when he
18, 18. Well, I think he was only 17 when he went in, you know, because a lot of the chaps used to think, well, all my mates are gone. So they lied about their ages and went in, you know, sort of thing.
Well, tell me about your trip to France.
Well, my trip to France with my older brothers, my older brother and Gordon, and my nephew and niece. We went to visit his grave. I forget where it was now, somewhere down in Normandy there, you know. And then we spent the day looking over the American war graves and all along the coast where these things are. The gun.
And you found his grave?
I found his grave, yeah. We knew where it was roughly, you know, yeah.
And John didn't talk about him much then, or?
No, not really, no.
Just went and had a look.
That's all, yeah. As long as we seen his grave, that was it, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, good.
Should we go and have a look at the plaque then?
If you like, yeah, shall we?
Yeah.
Look at the plaque, yeah. My brother's name is here, G.E. Glazier.
So what was the
Fusilier.
E for?
George Edward.
George
His
Edward.
name,
Glaze.
George Edward Glazier, yeah. Fusilier, Royal Scots Fusiliers, yeah. I've often wondered whether, if he hadn't have left the Royal Sussex Regiment, whether he would have ended up going to Normandy and probably wouldn't have done, you know. So one of them things, wasn't it? You know.
And so you met Nan before your army days, when you were kids?
Yeah. In between the Navy and the Army, I met her, yeah.
And how old were you when you got married?
22, wasn't I? But I was 5 years, Nanny was 18, so 5 years after that, what's that?
23.
23, 23, yeah.
And then you had Mum quite quickly after that.
We did, yeah. Mum did, 62. So it was only like a year, wasn't it? We've been married, sort of thing, that's it, yeah. Then Sue came along in 64, and Caroline in 66. Then all the grandchildren came along, you're one of them.
Yeah. So how many grandchildren have you got?
8.
8.
8
See if you
grandchildren.
can remember all the names.
Carly, David, Samantha, Jonathan, Stephanie, Stacey, and Emily. That's 8.
It's missing one.
Is that?
Yeah.
Who have I missed?
You've missed Suze.
Eh?
Suze.
Oh, Robert. God, how can I forget Robert? Oh, yeah, Robert.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah, Robert.
Sorry,
yeah.
Robert.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
I know, yeah, Robert.
Taxing day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here I am. What? It's for the bluebells, is it? Bluebells are alright. Pick one. Pick one for me. You're taking home. Oh, it's nice, isn't it? Oh, thank you. They smell nice. You smell them, Robert. You smell them.
What do they say? What do they sing in the jungle when it's Christmas? Oh, look at that one, David! Jungle bells, jungle bells.
Not really the birds singing.
Why
Something about, goodness me, yeah. And the one where you talk to Mum saying I'm eating a stick. Do you remember that?
No.
Don't you? I picked up a bit of wood, I was going up that, and you said, Mum, Granddad's eating a stick. Hey? I got it all on video, on one of my videos at home, so I need to... Hey? I've got my hat on again, look, take it off. What's the mud there, David? Come
Yeah,
down
it's
a
all
bit.
right. It's all dried up.
Is it? Not too bad, then. This is where the drains run right down through here.
It's all very familiar. I recognise it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't been to this part of the
But
woods
we
since
would
we
have
left
come in
Hastings.
from the other
probably.
end, wouldn't we?
Oh yeah.
Years ago.
Put it on.
Yeah, I remember. Off on that bank there's a few, yeah.
You're right, Robert.
Look at that. Beautiful.
Hmm? Yeah, they're nice, aren't they? They're there, yeah. Some places they grow massive areas. Yeah,
So-
good jobs.
This is where we used to come and play as kids
You did, yeah.
with you and Nan and
Yeah,
cousins and whatnot.
yeah.
What are your memories of bringing us down here?
Oh, just letting you run away, run and hide, and I can remember all that sort of thing. That's good, you know. And we spent a couple of hours in here. Would have done, wouldn't we? You know.
Regularly, yeah.
We'd go from one end of the wood to the other. It's quite a big wood. You know, you could go right round it. But yeah, I enjoyed it. You know, miss it really, I suppose. Don't
Miss
I?
it.
Now you've all grown up.
So can you remember any specific occasion? Talk about the time when you lost us, for example.
Oh, good. Well, that was right down there, wasn't it? I
So
mean, you all run off.
who was there?
There was you. I expect you all there, weren't you? You three. I don't expect Steph was there. She's probably been too young, was she? There's you three. Then there was Carly and Stacey, obviously, and
And Robert was there, was he?
Robert would probably been. I think he was, yeah, because
Yeah.
they'd all gone on my own this time, taking you out. And I looked round and I thought, well, I can't hear them. They all disappeared, and so I come back up through here shouting and shouting for Carly mainly, because she was like the ringleader, wasn't she? And eventually, when I got home, I opened the door and you was all back indoors. And I thought, how did they get there then? But she knew a way, because they lived around Guestling, didn't they? Go up through the church, I think. Did you go through the churchyard?
I don't remember it. That's it.
Or into the lane.
I remember being lost
Yeah.
and you being all upset.
Oh no! And the rain runs up there, doesn't it? And you came back through there, and I was going home to say, "Oh, I've lost the kids, Gotcha!
How often did you come down here just with Nan?
With Nanny, quite a bit in the summer evenings. We walked right down through here, because I remember when we just parked and that gate we came through. That's where we first saw our first nightingale.
Right.
In there, we got the binoculars on and we picked him up, and he was whistling like to do, you know, bloody lovely. But I haven't heard one since. But they're very rare.
First and last.
First time and last, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're very rare now. They're up on the Norfolk coast, they reckon. About a chap I spoke to the other day said he'd heard one over Fairlight, but you know, but they're very rare now, aren't they?
Tell me about how you met Nan.
How did I meet Nan? Oh goodness me! I'd known her for years as kids.
Yeah.
You know, from pet level and all that sort of thing. But I think I had a girlfriend in 1954 when I was in the Navy, and then she dumped me, and I come out of the Navy, and why me and Gord never started going to pet level, I'll never know. That's how we met Jean down there. But I met Mum. She was only about 13 years old. We weren't going out together then. But,
No.
But then when I went in the army, we was like pen pals. She used to write once a month to me, and I'd write back, tell her what was going on, this, that, and the other. And when I came out of the army, or when I come back in November '57, I was in the beach club with Gordon and all that lot, and she came in, and I said, "It's blooming cold back here," and she said, "Well, I'll keep you warm," and that's how it started. It went
The
from
rest is history.
the rest is history. I used to walk home when they was still at school. I used to walk them across the bridge, make sure they got home safe from pet level. You know, the bridge there. Remember the bridge that went over?
Yeah.
The Humpty Bridge. That's all. But then she had all the chances to go with everybody else, but she waited for me, bugger it.
I see.
You know, yeah.
Worth the wait.
It was. I must have been, wasn't it? You know, I often said to her, "Why'd you pick me after all the other boys you could have had?" You know, so it must have been something there, mustn't there?
That's what I say.
You know, never had no money.
Right.
I mean, we were poor as a church mouse, they say.
So
Yeah.
you got married in
No, February '61.
61.
We lived along St Leonard's, and it was a funny old wedding reception because my mum never come. She went shopping in Hastings.
So this is your wedding and your
My
mother
wedding-
didn't
no,
come.
she didn't come. No.
So
It was
who
strange.
was at your wedding?
It was myself and Nanny as well. Gordon, Grandad, Nanny.
your
The-
dad?
No, my
The
granddad
Osbornes?
was there, yeah, and the other granddad, Bob, Sheila, Pearl, and George Whiteman. Oh, and Les Willard, because Les Willard was my best man.
Right.
So it was about a dozen of us, wasn't there? That's all we had.
Your dad wasn't there?
Dad was there.
Your dad was there, but
Yeah,
your mum
my
didn't
no,
come?
she went shopping. She went shopping. people can't believe that. We're going to even see these big weddings today. You know.
Well, was that normal then?
I suppose so, because when Les got married, there was only 4 of us at his wedding.
Right.
You know, and we went to Battle Register Office, and we came back, and he was cutting the cake. I remember he sliced his thumb. He spent the rest of that in the hospital. You know, and he got married on a Boxing Day. You know.
So what did your mum say when you got home and she got back from shopping?
I don't know. She said it'd go all right. I suppose I didn't go back home because we went from there, from the other nannies, straight home to our flat in St Leonard's.
Okay, and you didn't have a honeymoon?
No, not till May. We went to Devon in May, me and Mum, to Dudley. We went by motorbike down to, what's that place just north Dawlish.
Okay.
Dawlish, because the people we stayed with in St Leonard's, they used to go there on their holidays, and they told the people who we were and this, that and the other, so they put us up for a week. But it rained every day, I think, so being on a motorbike, we got rather wet, and then the motorbike broke down. Oh, God.
You were just on the one bike?
And, yeah, on the one bike.
It's a long way to go with 2 people
Oh
on the
no,
bike.
it was, yeah. But then we had the bike when your mother was born. We bought a sidecar for the bike. Like going through all village one night after going home from your nanny's at Pett, the sidecar decided to fall apart. It fell onto the road, and Nanny got out. So I'm not getting to get in that thing anymore. But we had to tie it up with a bit of rope and that to get home. And then we had a car after that.
Right. So how long were you married before you had kids?
A year, wasn't it? A year.
Yeah.
Yeah. We think your mum might have been conceived down in Dawlish anyhow.
I see.
So that makes mum from Devon.
Okay, so she's Devonshire, yeah.
If you work it out, May, we went in May.
Yeah.
And she was born in February sort of thing, yeah. Yeah, so that's 9 months, I think, isn't it? But it might not have been then, but you don't know, do you?
Did you abstain until Devon?
Well, yeah, really, no. No, yeah. Yeah, so that's when we thought Mum was probably conceived down there.
Yeah.
And the other 2 was where? Out Pett Level. Could we move to Pett Level in the end? Caroline and Sue was born down there. Well, they was all born in the nursing home, but, you know.
So obviously times have changed a bit, and now when a couple has a baby,
yeah,
often they'll both be present. Were you there?
No.
Did you have any involvement at all?
No, none at all. Not in them days.
No.
No.
So what were you doing when Mum was born?
But when I was working,
You were working?
I was working on the building. Oh yeah. I went to see her in the evening when I come home from work. Someone said that she had the baby, so
Swing by the hospital.
I must have phoned up. Where was it? Up
Buchanan.
Buchanan. I must have phoned them up when I come home from work, and they said, yeah, she's had the baby girl. So I was up there, had my dinner, and then went up there.
You had your dinner and then you went to see your baby, your firstborn.
Oh no, yeah.
Do you remember what you had for dinner?
No. No rabbit, I expect.
Rabbit pie.
Rabbit pie. No, I wouldn't have known them days, but yeah. Then the other 2, I mean, I was at work all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we had to. When she had Caroline, it was like in the middle of the night. I had to go and borrow Les Willard's van to take her into Fernbank the other one, down on London Road. That's where she had the other 2.
Okay. And what do you remember about their early childhood?
Well, we had an old car in them days. We used to go out like on a Sunday down to like Dungeness or Ashford, places like that.
Days out.
Days, that's all we used to do. Yeah, so we could afford, wasn't it? You know.
Did you have any holidays, like
No,
sort of thing?
no, we never had no holidays away until your mum got into the Bay City Rollers.
Okay.
But before that, no, we did. We went away in 1971, the first time we went to Pontins, then in Devon.
What was that like?
That was all right. Where was it? Brixham? Was it Brixham? Yeah. Then we used to go with Auntie Marge and Uncle John them days. We had hard 2 cars, and we used to drive down. Then we went up to went to Wales, then up to the other side of Liverpool. They was all at Pontins. And then the one up in Suffolk we went to, Norfolk. That's where we spent the most holidays. And then when they all finished, 78 and 79, no, 77 and 78, I think we drove all the way to Scotland so Mum could go and see where it was the leader of the Bay City Rollers. Can't remember.
Sorry, Mum, I don't know.
I can't think of his name now.
No.
But we went there.
She liked someone called Les.
That was him.
Was that him?
Les McEwen, that's it.
That's
Les
it, okay.
McEwen, yeah. We went to find his house, which was a council house in them days. They thought they was going to be there. But all that was there was their manager's father.
Right.
But he took him in and showed them all round in their house, and they was made up with that.
You drove all the way to Scotland.
Oh, just to see that, yeah. And when they got there, they weren't there. But we had a holiday when we was there as well. You know, in Galashiel was the first one we had, I think. You know, we went a bit further north next time. You know, it was good.
And then when your girls were growing up and off having families of their own,
Yeah.
you used to go on holidays with Nan in camper vans and things.
Yeah, and we bought another motorbike then. Then we started going to the Isle of Man. We went there for about over 10 years, I suppose, every year at September. You know,
And what did you do in the Isle of Man?
just watch the bike racing mainly.
Yeah.
Who in turn has a 6-second advantage over number 3, that's Neil Richardson. Quality and service. That's Chris Carroll. On Carroll. In 6th place we have number 20, Andy Jackson.
You know, we went horse riding there.
Yeah?
First time I've been on a horse in my life, and the last time.
First and last.
Oh, God, it was terrible. When they go through places like this, you know.
Yeah.
But because they was riding motorbikes through on scrambling, we had to stick to the road. And of course, being on tarmac road, if you didn't go down when the horse went up, or it wasn't, vice versa, you ended up with a sore backside. I remember Nanny sat in the blinking bath for 2 hours, I think. We went to Ireland in 1992 by motorbike. You know, we stayed in a little cottage up in the hills, and then the next time we went was 2004. We went by camper van. And then 2005, when they diagnosed Nanny with cancer, we went again. But then from there, we was going to go to the Isle of Mull. We had it all planned to go to the Isle of Mull. Of course, Nanny never made it, so that was the end of that. So then we went to where? We remember we climbed. Where did we climb? Mount Snowdon. You met Snowdon, didn't we?
Right, that was Mum's 50th.
That was 2012, wasn't it? It was 2012. And I walked all the way up there. And I remember, first time I ever heard him swear, when we found that the restaurant was shut. You remember? And he was starving. Do you remember that?
Him swearing, it was the
He did swear.
Only because I knew what he was going to do to my sisters.
I know. I mean, I remember Sam. She really swore, didn't she? 'Cause I'm going to fall over and break my leg and suddenly get an helicopter and take me back, she said.
I remember you swearing.
I didn't swear.
You were raging and swearing at the weather.
Swearing at the
Oh, the weather? Oh, yeah.
It was hailing and
Yeah.
blowing a gale at us, cutting right
It's
into our
horrible. It was
faces.
terrible, wasn't it, up there? And it was ice, wasn't it? Cutting across
Frozen
there.
at the top.
It was, yeah. I remember
And
that.
yeah, your
When we were top of the-
language turned the air
When we
blue.
got to the top of the thing, I held on because
That's right. Yeah, I've got a photo of
you.
it.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the worst. They met to come down. What was it? The pig track they called it, didn't we? Came down. The pig track. That's it.
Tell us a bit about your working life.
Working life. I said earlier first. Well, after I'd done that stint in the Navy and the Army, I just went on the building for several years. You know, then I picked up lorry driving for a firm from London that was working this way. Then I ended up working for another firm, and the boss said to me, "You come from the country, don't you?" I said, "Yeah," because I knew he used to live this way. And I said, "Right, I'll give you a digger." And that's when I first started on the diggers and all that sort of thing. You know, that had been 1965, 66. This is me ditching it right. A little village here on the way to Lewis, right in the backwoods. Some of the ditching I've already done. See how narrow the lanes are.
Yeah, good afternoon actually. This is Vic on his John Deere, mowing the grass for urges actually. On the 27th of November, out in near Winchelsea. Yeah, I can see you. Yeah. Where you got lost? Where you going home? Yeah, what was up to actually? I don't know, do you, Rick?
And when was your accident?
That was in 1980.
Oh, a bit later.
Yeah.
So what happened there? What do you remember?
All I can remember is that the machine I was sitting on had a seat you sat on,
Yeah.
and you just swing round this way and that way, and the tractor was in front of you, and one of the legs you put down to stabiliser had fallen off, and this other chap was trying to put it on, Well, instead of sitting on the machine working it up and down, I got off and laid through where the arm goes up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, being back to front, I pulled the lever the wrong way, and that came up and squashed me right through there. That's all I can remember about that then. I was spending, 6 weeks in hospital, unconscious most of the time. Then on the morphine.
Yeah.
That was good. You ever took morphine?
I never have, no.
It sends you a bit doolally, doesn't it? Yeah. From there, where did I go from there then?
So that stopped you smoking?
I did. Well, they advised me to stop smoking, so I did. You know.
You're one to take advice, aren't you?
Yeah,
You don't mind taking advice from the doctor?
That's it. He said stop smoking, so I did. So.
I suppose we ought to say something about your time in the Navy. How long were you in the Navy?
Oh, no, I don't know, 8 months.
8 months?
I don't remember nothing about it.
Well,
Where did you go?
Went to Scotland twice, and Denmark. Went to Denmark, yeah. And then I came out, so.
yeah.
Sort of thing. I wish I'd stayed in, but because I wasn't very knowledgeable, the exams were so hard. That's why they let me go. I was never going to pass them. I only went in like a junior seaman.
Right.
But that was when I was only 16.
Yeah.
You know, but I enjoyed the army life.
So tell us about the army then.
Because I went in 1956.
That was conscription.
Yeah, you had to do your 2 years. You know, and I went up to Worcester to do my training. 6 weeks basic training, and then from there we went to Liverpool on a troop ship to Jamaica, then Jamaica through the Panama Canal, Honolulu to Christmas Island, and got preparing for these runways and all this sort of thing for these bombers to come to take off with them.
So you were building runways?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, most of the time. Yeah, on the groundwork and that sort of thing. Then we spent another fortnight leave up in, but it was so expensive. You know, I mean, we only had about in them days, like the old £2, that's all we got a week. You know, you couldn't buy nothing really. And we went into Pearl Harbor, where all the Americans were, and talked to them and say, well, we used to earn more than that in an hour. You know, funny old boys, old Yanks, but we had a good time in Pearl Harbor. Had a good booze up.
Yeah.
Come back on the boat.
Yeah.
Helping ourselves.
Yeah. I remember just you and Sam running down there jumping over the blooming, like these things. Jumping over top of them and then up on that gate. You swung on the gate, didn't you?
Yeah.
Up there.
Oh yeah.
Remember the gate?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the gate we swung on.
Yeah, different gate because it goes the other way now.
Yeah.
Used to swing this way,
You used
didn't
to
it?
hold on to it and then it used to just go
Swing
out
right
with the
round
gravity
there,
and we'd
didn't
just
it?
hold on and whee.
Yeah, yeah. Certainly did.
It's a lot tidier now.
Eh?
It's a lot tidier over here now.
Where was the other place we used to go walking? Down Rosemary Lane. Across the fields over there, didn't we? After you, Magda. Where we used to go chestnutting.
Is that one of these skinny ones? Can we have these ones? Yeah, what? Put them in pocket. No, your own pocket. Quite a few come down there. Lucky I've got 3 pockets then. They're not very deep each year, are they?
No, some are bigger than others in places, you know.
Just to look on the ground, look, see them get out of their cases, look, so that's a big hole there, Sammy, look, look at that one, Brendan! A long rabbit down there! Nice races down there, Mum. No. Look at that one!
Yeah, that's a big one, yeah, see?
Don't you lose your welly down there, Sam? Rabbit! Open them up like that. Well, that one's no good. No one's going to want to eat that one. Mine was big in that, wasn't it?
Where is he? Bo. Bo.
Yeah, you will.
Vivo. What?
Let's have the chestnut, Granddad! Bye-bye!
Oh, JJ! Hold on there, Sonny.
I found another one!
You're in the wrong place, David.
We got some fun here. Oh, I got you on the video. That's it.
There you're over.
What's his sign? We got some apples!
They're no good. They're probably crab apples.
No, they smell like you can eat
Yeah,
them.
well, I wouldn't eat when they make your tummy ache. Yes, you can. Climb over the top. Yes, you can. Carly, show her to climb over the gate. What's the matter? Is he? Yes, he... This is where we used to grow a lot. There used to be lots of orchids up in here.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's too early for me, I suppose.
Yeah. Come back for another day in the summer.
Oh, we better clear it here.
They have.
Remember
Completely
Caroline?
different.
Caroline, they used to play in there.
Yeah.
When they was little in that pond. You know, I cut a big tree down there now. Really bush there. This is so overgrown here now. Look at it. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
It's only recently gone though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sawdust
The sawdust is
everywhere,
quite fresh, isn't it? You know. They was always in that pond playing, dirty old thing. Look at it. It reminds me when me and Gordon used to play in the one up in the bay home where Nanny lived. A nice little bridge there over there now. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, very good. Yeah. I don't know what it's like around our house today.
So when was the last time you were at Allard?
Oh, 2 or 3 years ago I went to see Arthur Farnes. He lives in the white one facing this way. I can hear Farnes. Can I hear Farnes? Can I hear you, Farnes? Farnico? Did I hear him? Hey? Where's Arthur? For the camera. Yeah. Well, we couldn't go by without saying hello.
Getting his memories on film.
They're filming me, yeah. Filming me for my 80th birthday this year.
Oh, didn't have all that fuss when I was 8.
Come in.
Now come in for a minute, Ian. Yeah.
Hello to you.
That's all right. Yeah.
Keep coming.
How are you?
Yeah.
This is Dave. This is Mandie's oldest son.
How you doing there, Mush?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Maybe walk around the blinking wood, haven't they?
Bloody trees and all.
Oh yeah.
Where you been down the wood?
Yeah, he wanted to go down because he can remember when he was little, when they used to take him down in the wood.
You remember us running along here?
Yeah, remember they used to run up and down here, didn't they? All that lot. Black stockings there, see? See? You got yours as well. Look, I have to wear them to help me walking.
I got a new pair.
Ain't that just sexy?
Yeah, did you get that? Cheers.
He's got the
Let's have a look.
What?
got the cup on, she put some fat in.
Is there any fat in there?
Probably, is there?
No, it's all right.
That's all right, good. Swing it down.
That's Arthur's. I couldn't carry it in for him.
So how many miles do you walk in a day now?
I don't know.
We never used to think about it though,
No,
did you?
no.
We used to meet at Guestling Green on a Sunday afternoon.
No, yeah.
Walk up to Fairlight, right into Hastings.
Yeah, that's it.
Have a poached egg on toast or something in Demarco.
That's it, yeah, I know.
And then walk
Way back
way
again.
back again.
It's the only way you can do it.
Never used to think nothing
Well, I
about
took
it.
them up to Fairlight Church for a start because my brother George that died in the war, they got a plaque of it went up on the wall there. Then I showed them where I went to school up there.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we used to walk from there, right down the 2 Battery Hills, up to the Cove Hotel where we lived all through the war. 5-year-old used to walk up them hills.
Never used to
Yeah.
think nothing of
No,
it,
they
though,
whinge
did you?
like hell because their mother won't take them to school now, won't they? Whinge all the time. Yeah, he lives in London now, so yeah. Run the toffs now, mate.
Are you? Oh, you're with the posh nonce.
Up the posh nonce. Posh area.
Everybody in London's posh.
Posh, isn't it?
Yes.
Walthamstowe's posh, is it? Up there then?
So it's
Well, it was until you got there.
Haven't you been for a ride round London? They're all posh.
Yeah, eh?
Of course. So tell us about the car.
Eh?
You buried a car here.
In there, in this garden, Kent's
So there's a car under there.
underneath there somewhere.
Wow.
You know, well down. It was an old car. We took the engine out and Just smashed the body up. So before we moved in, it was when I was working here doing the building. You know, it's under Kent's garden there somewhere. Hey?
Why?
It's a good question. It's not fair.
We got rid of it out of the way, didn't it? You know, in them days, saved taking it to the scrapyard. That was ours. Yeah, you remember playing in that bit
Of
there?
course I do, yeah.
Still
That's
got the
more
same,
recent.
what's them, hasn't it? Glass egg, whatever you call it.
The conservatory. Nan had the greenhouse here.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And then we've got a video footage of you having your barbecue over
Up
here,
there, that's
burning
me
the sausages.
singing. Me singing,
Yeah,
that's
we'll
right,
get
yeah.
that into the film.
Yeah, I've got that at home, haven't I? Yeah.
Like cocker, isn't he? You're my friend when I'm hungry. You're my shelter from trouble.
Oh, lovely little barbecue. Look at them sausages, all black and cooked up lovely. I will eat them all. Woo, woo, woo.
Well, I'm going down to Florida and get some
Sand
sand
in my shoes.
or maybe
California.
and get some
Sand in my shoes.
I'll ride down
Orange blossom special.
and lose
These New York blues. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow.
Ain't you worried about getting your nourishment in New York?
Oh, I don't care if I do that.
Do-da.
Hey, talk about a rambling. She's the fastest train rolling down the seaboard line.
Look at our barbecue we're going to have. We're going to hit some knocks here in a minute, a bottle of wine. Eee, but my sonny. Gee whiz, dreaming my life away. Need you so, I can cry you so. And that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. I will make you mine, taste your lips of wine, anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so, and I can die. I need you so, and that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream, 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 dream.
Cheers. Put my sonny.
I hope life treats you kind.
Is it going
And I
what?
hope
You're
you
great.
have all that you ever dreamed of. And I
Very
wish
drunk, ain't you? 2 glasses of bloody wine. Oh, God, blimey. You're too close now, mate.
What about your hobbies and your passions? So
Hobbies?
you're very much into motorbikes.
Motorcycling,
We haven't
mostly.
talked about that.
Motors-
How many motorbikes have you owned?
Oh, God. You couldn't count them on one hand. Or 2 hands, I don't think. You know. Yeah, I did the last one in 2008, I think. I started riding them at 1954, I had the first motorcycle.
What was your first bike?
A BSA Bantam. I came down Chico, which we came down just a minute. I fell off at the bottom. That was a good start, wasn't it?
So
Yeah.
how badly did you hurt yourself?
No, it didn't hurt me, so
No?
I wasn't going fast enough.
Because you've broken a few bones in your time.
I have, yeah. I broke my elbow here. That was when I was a kid, you know. But,
How did that happen?
On a bicycle again. I was on
That was a warning
I was
right
on
there.
yeah, I was on. It was just after the war. I was about 8 years old, I think, and
we was coming down through Fairlight, and I was on the crossbar of this lad's bike, and he kept chasing right behind this big army lorry, and I kept thinking, I don't know, we're going to hit this in a minute. I jumped off and hit my elbow on the curb, you know. They dislocated it, they never put it back properly. And then about 2 years later, I fell over and tripped and done it again. So that arm's been pretty badly bashed, you know.
I remember you broke your collarbone.
Yeah, on my bike. That was 2000, something like that. 2005, just before we went on holiday, yeah. I fell off the bike in Rye and hit a pothole. I only went over very slowly, very slow motion really, but I didn't realise till the pain in the morning that I'd done my collarbone. So I was up the hospital with that.
And so what was your favourite bike?
Oh, no doubt the Pan-European. You know, the Honda Pan-European. We bought that in 1992, 93. It was only 15 months old, but we had some lovely times out on that. Really built for touring, you know, beautiful.
All right, well, I think it'd be useful to ask a few questions about the things that you like in life. So, if you've got a favourite food, what would it be?
Food? Yeah, I think a steak.
Steak meal?
Yeah,
steak meal.
yeah.
But you can't eat now because
no, I can't, because of my blood thing, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's your tipple?
Bitter.
Yeah.
Real ale, it's best bit.
We had some Harvey's at lunch today.
We did, that was lovely, yeah. I know Harvey's for ages.
Have another one this evening, maybe.
They got a hobgoblin up at where I live, and that's a lovely drink too. Beautiful. But I can't have too much. I can't have stuff with too much iron in it.
Right.
You know, so I have to cut back on that now. I used to like a Guinness, but Guinness is full of iron.
Too much iron for you.
No, that's it. I'm down to about 90 something now in my favoritins and my blood, so that's not bad.
And what about music?
Music, rock and roll all the time.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, yeah.
Just rock and roll. Who's your favourite? If you had to choose one.
Oh, Roy Orbison.
Roy Orbison.
My favourite singer, yeah.
And what else do you enjoy in life?
Walking.
Walking in the countryside.
Walking, yeah. 1987, myself and Nanny, we was up in Scotland, and we was parked up near the bottom of Ben Nevis, and we saw a cow giving birth, so we stayed and watched that. And then Nanny said, well, we've got a walking boot, let's walk up that path. And we followed the path, and we ended up right at the top of Ben Nevis. And a beautiful sunny day in July, it was in 1987, and there was snow up there, 3 foot thick in July, yeah. Brilliant that was. And we've done that. We've climbed the highest mountain in Southern Ireland. We've done the Penny-Fan, is it? Penny-Fan in Wales. I've done the other one, what's it called?
Snowdon.
Done Snowdon.
Yeah.
And we walked up, what's the one in the Lake District?
Scarfell Pike.
Scarfell Pike. We didn't quite get to the top because the fog come down. Right. We got mainly up there. Yeah. We nearly done a lot of walking in the Lake District. She was jolly. She's so much different than her sister Pearl.
Yeah.
You know, oh yeah. Because I mean, Pearl hated motorbikes, but Nan loved motorbikes. She hated cars. She would never get in a car if it only had 2 doors. Because if she got stuck in the back, she could get out with the back. That's what she always thought.
She wouldn't have flown.
No, she had a job to get on a ferry, didn't we? Go to the Isle of Man to take pills to go on that, you know. That was only made it worse when the Zeebrugge disaster back in 80-something.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's what put her off in the end.
Right.
But you know, she would never fly. I don't think you ever get on a
She had a funny way of talking.
She did. I don't know where she got that from.
She seemed to pick up strange accents from wherever you went and incorporated it into her.
Well, yeah, but she spoke that when she was a kid. You know, so we don't know why.
Up the stairs.
And that sort of thing, yeah.
Apples and pears.
That's yeah. There's some of that on that. I was watching the film the other night of her and me, one of my videos, and she was talking like that. You know, someone would be playing golf on the Isle of Man. I think little what's name golf, and she move it, move it. Don't get in the way, and all this sort of. I don't know where it came from.
Move it then. As long as you remember where mine were.
Pardon?
She's born in Pett level.
Born and bred here.
She's born and bred, you know. Yeah. It's strange, isn't it? Yeah. Oh,
and what did she like? I mean, you say she liked motorbikes. She loved birds.
She loved rock and roll, and she loved dancing. I could never dance. I always feel sad now that I never used to dance with her. She used to dance with her friends, and she was always played the male part, you know. Because I could never rock and roll on 2 left feet. I got all the time, but I sometimes wish now that I could have done, you know. Yeah. Really, something we missed out on, because she was always going to town with her friend Anne, you know, dances and all that. Or she used to go country dancing up in the the Smuggler pub.
Yeah.
Up there, they used to go there, yeah, and that sort of thing. Proper old country girl.
Yeah.
You know. There ain't many of them about now.
No, I suppose not.
No. The Yorkshire Dales, that's another lovely place to walk. And then Cornwall, Devon. I mean, Dartmoor's a lovely place to walk. Me and your mum love walking up on
You like watching boats, I remember?
Boats, yeah, I like watching the boats. I've got a telescope, I can watch the ships go up and down the channel. You know, watched the Russian Navy go down last year with their smoky old aircraft carrier belching black smoke.
And what do you not like?
What I don't like?
Yeah. What kind of foods would you say? Oh, no.
Oh, I don't know. Junk food.
Don't like junk food. McDonald's.
No, that sort of thing. No, never have like that. No.
And if somebody offered you a drink,
KFC
and what kind of drink would you turn down?
Turn down? Oh, spirits. I never have been into spirits like whiskey and gin. I might have a rum now. I used to have rum now and again, but not that often. You know. Beer's mainly my drink. Yeah.
And as I recall, you don't really ever go to the cinema. You never watch films.
I haven't been to the cinema for years. I used to go when Nanny was alive, but that went to before we got married.
What was the last film you
Oh,
saw at the cinema?
I don't know, probably a cowboy or something.
Yeah, cowboy film.
Roy Rogers, I suppose. No, we have been. We went to a rock and roll film years ago when Mum was small. You know, it was a picture house called the Kinema, I think it was called. It was in one of the little, what's the name of the road? Long St Leonard's there somewhere, that's where it was. We took the girls there once. That was an early rock and roll band on that. That was good fun.
You've got some favourite sayings as well.
Was that such as what? No.
Humdinger.
Oh, the Humdinger folk singer. Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but I thought it just.
There's all sorts of things you say like
that. No, yeah, Humdinger, folk singer. What else was I said?
Yabba dabba do. You say
yeah, but that comes up from Yogi Bear, doesn't it? Used to go yabba dabba do. Things like that, you know. I can't think of anything else at the moment. They are there, I know, but.
I'm not sure you're entirely aware that you're doing it some of the time.
No, probably not. No, I don't. No, probably not. No, because indoors sometimes I swear at myself and I drop something on the floor. I go, for God's sake, hold on to it, you know, and I've dropped something on the floor. Not that my hands don't hold it, it's just that I'm just so clumsy.
You've always been clumsy.
Always clumsy, yeah.
Not old age.
No, I've been clumsy all my life, you know. Yeah.
And you enjoy seeing the great
Oh
children,
yeah, love it. Yeah, I love them. Yeah. They keep me going, don't they? Yeah. So the oldest one is Chloe, and Joshua, which are Carly's. Then you got Stacey's got Callum, Mia, and Amelia.
Yeah.
And Sam's got Rosie and Ollie.
Yeah.
Got that right, did I?
You've got all in the right order, I think.
I did. Yeah.
Didn't forget anybody there.
Well, no, Amelia's the youngest.
Yeah.
You know. Then Oliver. Ollie with the hair. I don't know what would have happened if I ain't got no, like your mum and all that, children and grandchildren. I mean, I probably would have, I don't know, been a homeboy now, I think.
Yeah.
You know, probably. But all the time I keep going. I keep going.
Keeps you young.
People keep saying that, but then I've got these silly little things wrong with me. I've got a block thing in my heart. I've got my legs, big problem. I've got underactive thyroid. I've got this blooming iron in my blood stuff. But it don't seem to bother me.
No.
You know,
you're very, very healthy for a sick man.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, for a sick man. Yeah. I do miss having a good old drink though, you know, getting really old, getting really plastered. You know.
Well, I will have a jar or two tonight.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay.
We'll wrap it up then.
Yeah. All right. That's made my day. She fell over. They get all muddy shoes. Come off of there. God. Did you record that?
Yeah, we've got that.
Magda, did you fall over? That made my day. Did you not film her? Oh, you better not have.
I did.
Oh, look. Oh, look. You watched it. There used to be a lot of big sand holes and mud holes out there years ago. Yeah, that point. But Gordon used to spend a lot of his time with him in his wheelbarrow, pushing him out in the wheelbarrow around the estate. You know,
I see, yeah.
Yeah, Gordon.
I've seen him in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, he loved the wheelbarrows, yeah. He used to sing a song about the wheelbarrow, didn't he?
Do you remember how the song went?
I do, but I can't sing it now.
Why?
No.
Go on.
No.
Oh, what was it?
We'll have to get a jar
It's
in
called,
there.
what's it go? As it go? You know it
I
go.
don't know.
We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. Oh, we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. Then we go next verse, same as the first. So you keep singing it over and over again. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. Oh, we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. Next verse, same as the first. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. Oh, we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. Oh, we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. Oh, we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. Oh, we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. Oh, we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow.
You can sing.
La 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 wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. Oh, we had a
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. But we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. But we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. But we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. But we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. But we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. But we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. But we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. But we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. We had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round. But we had a wheelbarrow and the front wheel went round.
Gee whiz, dreaming my life away. Need you so, I can cry, I love you so. And that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream. I will make you mine, taste your lips of wine, anytime, night or day. Only trouble is, gee whiz, I'm dreaming my life away. I need you so, and I can die. I need you so, and that is why whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream, 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 dream.
Oh, Humdinger, folk singer.